Those of you who don't know, I'm State Senator John Still of the 17th District. I've had the privilege and the honor to represent this area for 20 years this year. And the purpose of this announcement is to let you know that I will not be running for re-election. I will be retiring. I'll have a statement for you at the end. It's been a fantastic experience. There's a gentleman behind me here who used to be an Attorney General, State Senator, Governor, now our Congressman, who actually talked me into this, and I'll get even with him later. The 20 years have flown by. I tell people it's been about 20 pounds ago for me. But the purpose of this is twofold. I also have somebody that I know in my district is well respected, well liked, is trusted, and he has agreed to accept the baton of service and accept the challenge and become our endorsed candidate. Now, I have to say for the record, I hope that our party sees the wisdom of putting Jim Hutchison, known as Hutchin, as your next state senator here. Hutch and I go way back to Planning Commission days, Police Chief days, City Council days, Mayor days, and now Commerce Bank days. So he brings a wealth of experience to the table, and I bet you there's not another person that has the deepest roots in the community, even me, because Hutch was born and raised here. Went to the Murphy School, public service is in his blood, and the fire's in his belly. And the first thing you want out of a candidate, folks, is you got to make sure they have a fire in the belly. They got to want to do this job, because today it's not easy. It's never been easy, and it's not going to get any easier, and the state has serious fiscal challenges. I just want to tell you in my 20 years that I have worked with 4 governors. Mike Castle is the best of any of those 4 I've ever worked with. When I first came in '89, it was a rude awakening to be in the minority, but I learned very quickly. You never be concerned with taking credit for anything, whether factually you're in the majority or the minority. But you should certainly be concerned with accomplishing things. We have a record of accomplishment in this district second to none. Irrespective of what my opponent said in the last race, and everyone who tried to say the same thing for 6 times, the people in my district, thank goodness, were able to put me back in, and I really appreciated that from the bottom of my heart. Mildred, you've been a staunch supporter of mine for a long time. She represents the farming community and another person who's been in Kent County a long time. I have a lot of retired military folks here today. Art Erickson, Dick Bundy, I don't think Ron Love or Rich Harper made it. Rich Harper was my honorary co-chairman when I ran the first time. If you don't know, the military base is worth about $500 million a year to this state. And anytime they speak, we listen. And we know we need to listen. And Hutch doesn't have to be taught how to do that. He's already on the ball in that one. I want to just say a couple other words about public service and some of the groups that are also here. Reverend Avant has been a strong supporter of mine of the African American Church. Not because of anything I do in particular, but because we have an excellent relationship, and he brings to the table those issues that are important to that segment of our community, and I've always listened to him, and I still will. And I just want to thank you for your support too, Reverend Lamont, and your church. Today we also have the chamber leadership here. Alan, where's Alan Kovitz? Alan's here along with Judy Yaga for the chamber. I've been a member of the chamber ever since I came to this community in business. And it's another segment of the community that needs representation because they talk about small business and they mean what they say and they say what they mean. Thank you, Alan. In the far corner is a gentleman I've had the pleasure to know for a long time, Dennis McGlynn with Dover Motorsports. For those of you who don't know, in 1993, Dennis and I had a long meeting. We were down to 35 employees, not much of a payroll, and they were on the ropes, and we made some tough decisions. Today, they now employ over 900 people, and they represent one of the growing industries in our state. Dennis has come a long way. There was times when Dennis didn't take a paycheck so he could meet the payroll. He won't tell you that, but I'll tell you that. It's been a tough hurdle. I remember John Rollins and us meeting about Dover Downs and his future and the potential of NASCAR and what else would occur out there. And I'm proud that I was able to be a small part of helping them keep moving forward. Dennis, thank you for coming. Also with me today is somebody who's been with me for a long time, Wilmington Trust, who's represented by Paul Frick. You know, in small business, I was on the ropes in '81. I wondered if I was going to make it someday when the prime hit 21% interest rates. But there's a bank that hangs in there with you through thick and thin. Thank you, Paul. Not to be outdone, no successful public servant ever makes it in this world without dedicated volunteers. If you look on the right, you see here, seated to my right, as well as sprinkled throughout the audience, are people who are committed to the principles of the Republican Party. Those ladies right here, I've known them for a long time. Thank you, ladies, for all your help. And also standing behind me are some of the other elected officials I have the honor and privilege to work with and build relationships with through 20+ years. I have been a Republican since I was 18. I have been active in Kent County politics now for almost 30 years. And this is my 20th year in the Senate, and it is time for me to make a change, and that's what I'll be doing at the end of the session. But I will not go down without a fight. I will fight to make sure Jim Hutchinson is elected. Behind me are numerous friends, alliances, fellow elected officials. And there's an old chestnut that says people don't care until they know how much you care first. The people behind me care about politics, but more importantly, they care about public service. And I want to close with just thanking them for helping me be successful in this building and in life in general. And with this, I'd like to turn over to our endorsed candidate, Jim Hutchinson.